Welcome back, everybody. Take a break for Stephen Shamus.
Good to see you, my friend. How's it going today?
Wonderful. Every day is a good day.
Yeah, what kind of shirt are you wearing today, Al?
I'm just gonna show you Wanted. That's all I can. That's all I can share.
Is that the James McAvoy, Angelina Jolie?
No, I think it's a Han Solo shirt.
Oh, Han Solo. I should have known.
The Wanted Man. Yeah. I mean, come on. Better. Star Wars.
All right, what do we got? What do we got today, Alex?
Oh man, some good stuff. Just like every week. We're gonna hit a little Injustice. We're going to touch on two huge movie franchises, one that's been around for years, one that's really just starting to come about now, Dune and The Crow.
My planet Arrakis is so beautiful when the sun is low. Rolling over the sands, you can see spice in the air.
The Crow could bring that soul back. The wrong things right.
Yeah, I think all these have mass media connections. I mean, Injustice. What did they just announce? The film, or is it the TV? What did they announce for that?
Yeah, I think they're going to do like an animated feature and some other stuff. I mean, this is the perfect non-continuity DC thing to push on people that don't know anything about DC, especially the video game nerds. You know, it's like those guys might only play the video games and not read the comics. This is a way to get them into comics or other things.
Right. And then also, when it comes to like Dune, the original stuff is hot again because obviously the reboot is coming. You know, and it's got an all-star cast. It's an amazing cast.
Yeah.
And, we saw the same thing happen with Dark Crystal a little bit. You know, you saw the original Dark Crystal stuff pop when the new stuff came out. I was a big fan. I really liked Dark Crystal on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't renew it. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Jim Henson. I feel like when you look at the pantheon of great Walt Disney, Stan Lee, to me, Jim Henson belongs there.
100%.
And if you like think about it, like, hey, I'm going to come up with a frog puppet and a pig puppet, and they're going to be in a relationship, and people are going to believe it.
Right. Yeah. And look at the stable, like just like Walt Disney had with all of his like animators. Frank Oz, who is humongous, director, writer, does all kinds of stuff. He's Fozzie the Bear and Miss Piggy. Like he's Yoda.
Right.
He came up in the Jim Henson world. You know, it's
right.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree.
And I left off the George Lucas for the Star Wars universe. But I'm saying, like, when you look at like people that created these, and Jim Henson didn't just create characters, he created a whole new form for these characters. Sesame Street and Fraggle Rock and Muppets. And I mean, it's crazy. So anyway, anything Muppets related is very nostalgic for me. Okay. All right. So what are we going to start with today, Alex?
Let's talk Injustice.
Right. So obviously, there's going to be an animated film. It started to hit. These books are getting harder and harder to find. When you see the prices, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Especially the original Injustice stuff. Back from 2013. It's 8 years old already. So talk a little bit about what's the difference between the DC Injustice and why does it work for animated versus the regular DCU stuff?
I mean, the Injustice game is it's the same people that did the Mortal Kombat game. It's all the superheroes and villains fighting each other. And in the comic, that was a tie-in. And we've talked about this many times with different tie-ins, TV shows, video games, where the regular comic book people aren't picking these up because it's not a continuity. It's not in canon comic books, but the video game people kind of drive the sales after the fact. And this is one of them. It tells a story of, Superman, Lois dying, he goes crazy and all the villains and heroes are fighting each other. This is a very fun kind of like what if in the DC universe, there's always that story of like, what if Superman was evil, or what happens if Superman is evil? And this just carries that to a next level. And the game is very popular, but the comics, I think, supersede the game in popularity. I mean, after the first series came out, I mean, it's just nonstop with these books. And again, low ordered books, low number pickups and everything. And the train's not stopping, because again, now it's going to be animated. Now it's going to be all kinds of stuff. So, great franchise that came out of nowhere.
So Injustice Gods Among Us #1 was from March of 2013. There are 40 blue label and 10 gold label 9/8. It's only about $100 to $110 right now. Jeremy Rappick seems to be the main artist on the series. The main cover is pretty interesting, pretty cool cover. Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Joker, Flash, Green Lantern, and it also has Superman and Batman featured. So that's like the basic cover. That's only $100, $110 in a 9/8. Then the Jeremy Rappick 1 in 25 variant cover, Alex, there's 11 blue label, 2 gold label on 9/8. They sell for about $1,500. Even raw, they're several $100s each.
Yep.
And it's a Jeremy Rappick variant cover. Do you suppose that people just may have ordered the book but didn't order it and get enough incentives, and the incentive books are out there?
100%. And that, I think you see that with a lot of books like this. The incentives go astronomical because, your local store, let's say they order 100 Batman comics every month, something like this, where it's a video game tie-in. Nobody in the store is probably subbing them. I mean, I worked at stores for many years. Things that go under the radar, like video game tie-ins, people don't go, oh, can you sub me to that? Oh, can you put that in my hold box, until the book comes out. So stores are probably ordering 10 copies for the shelf, 15 copies. To ask a store to order 25 copies of a book that nobody is asking them for is tough. So only the big stores that would order that high, like Midtown or Mile High or something, would get these. And there's got to be a low number of them.
So you were at Midtown at the time, 2013?
Yeah, I remember that came out.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So then there's a second print, which is a sketch of the variant cover. There's two blue label and 3 gold label 9/8. 9/8 recently sold for $150, even though it's a low pop book. But people are buying them raw. And it's the sketched Superman cover by Jeremy Rappick. And then the third print shows Superman flying. That came out in July of 2013. There's only 1 blue label and 1 gold label 9/8. Those are selling for 10 to 15 raw.
Yeah. And
then, Alex, they came out with a special edition promo comic in 2013. There's 5 blue label, 0 gold label 9/8. It's a $10 to $15 raw. Talk about that book a little bit. It was a promo book from WB. That book has got to be tough to find, no?
100. It came with the video game. You had to get a special edition
video game.
So yeah, you're not. I mean, unless you got that special edition, it's gone. And how many people trashed them? How many people have them just sitting on their bookshelves and not caring? Promo books, again, I've talked about in the past, very rare, more rare than
you got to get us a picture of that book to show up on the screen. I wonder.
100%.
That's
I believe it's the same cover. It's one of the same covers. I believe
it is the same cover. Yeah. So that's going to be a hard book to find. I'm surprised it's only $10 to $15 raw. Obviously, they probably sold millions of copies of the video game.
Yeah.
But like you said, how many of them lived?
Yeah.
Beyond, kid opening it up, ripping it, and probably saying, "Oh,
here's a great example of something like that. Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, the VHS. When that came out, inside the flap of the VHS was a small mini graphic novel, Mask of the Phantasm, like a kid size. It was in the flap of the VHS. I bought the VHS. I had it for a month. I let my friend borrow it, and he came back and goes, "Here's the book that was inside." And I go, "What are you talking about?" Right. And I think it's that scenario over and over. I've been at flea markets where I've looked at the VHS collection. There's Mask of the Phantasm. You open it up, there's the book. It's
really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're kidding me?
I almost bought it, but I didn't. He wanted $10 too much.
You gotta kick yourself one day.
Right. But I mean, that's one of those things. It's like, once, Injustice, that's Xbox, 1 Xbox, 2 Xboxes ago. Same thing with PlayStation. I think it was PlayStation 3, if not 4. That stuff gets trashed or sent in. Nobody has them anymore.
Got it. All right, Alex, what's next on our list?
My favorite new movie coming out, Dune.
Yeah, so this movie was supposed to
be
coming out over a year ago. Rockstar cast, by the way.
There's nobody in it that is not an A-list celebrity.
I don't even know how they got all these people onto like the screen all at the same time, like interact. Like, how do you even?
They must have been scheduling that for years.
I know, and how do you even like pay for all that, right?
I think when your agent goes, hey, there's this move. They're doing another Dune movie. Do you want to be in it? I think everybody's like, yeah, I don't care what I have to do. You know,
I hear you. I hear you. So Marvel Super Special number 36 from 1984 is a Dune movie adaptation. By the way, it's got a Bill Sienkiewicz cover on it, Alex.
Beautiful covers.
Yeah, there's only 1 blue label and 0 gold label 9.8s.
Wow.
There's 6 blue label and 0 gold label 9.6s. There's 5 blue label and 0 gold label 9.4s. And it's about $250 at 9.4. So it's a very, very low pop book. Very, very hard to find. Even a 9.4 is $250. I would try to get a copy raw if you can. Very, very tough book from 1984. Then, Alex, what they did is then they made a 3-part Dune movie adaptation, also with all Bill Sienkiewicz covers as well.
Yes.
And that came out in 1985 in consecutive months. Dune number 1 was in April. Dune 2 is in May. Dune 3, number 3 was in June. So Dune number 1, 56 blue label, 2 gold label 9.8s. That's about a $700+ book, about $800 if you get the newsstand version. That is an expensive book. There's also a Canadian price variant, which is impossible to find. So that book is very, very expensive. Way more. Actually, I shouldn't say way more than Marvel Super Special, because the Marvel Super Special would be more if you got a 9.8. Again, Bill Sienkiewicz art. I did not realize that Bill had done that artwork on there. Probably, you're talking about, Alex, 36 years ago, Bill did the cover.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that had to be, I don't know, his first,
it's early work for sure. You know, post New Mutants, I'm assuming. Yeah, it might have been post New Mutants.
Yeah. So Dune number 2, 20 blue label, 0 gold label 9.8. That's about $100 book in 9.6. Very low pop. Dune number 3, impossible to find even raw. It's about $20 raw. There's 18 blue label 9.8s. There's 0 gold label 9.8s. And then the next series to talk about is Dune. I'm going to butcher this. Dune House Atreides. What's House Atreides?
Yeah, it's Dune isn't just one book, one movie. It's a multi-book. Think Lord of the Rings. Think the Chronicles of Narnia. It's multiple books. So these are different chapters, different stories of the characters in the books. And the I don't know if it's rumor, but the new Dune movie isn't a remake of the original series. It's an original movie. It's another kind of chapter in that series, like The Watchmen was. So, this is just ramping right up. And this came out again. We should have had Dune should have been in the movie theaters now. We should be getting our Blu-rays now, So this stuff was coming out right around that time it was supposed to be released. Yeah.
Okay, so that series came out in October of 2020. Jay Lee did the main cover, 11 blue label, 0 gold label 9.8. It's about a $5 to $10 raw book because the pop is so low.
And now people are looking for him. Now the movie's ramping.
So Jay Lee did cover A. Cover B was Dan Mora, 8 blue label 9.8, 0 gold label 9.8. That's about a $10 to $15 book raw. Then there's the Jay Lee 1 per store variant sketch cover, 40 blue label and 0 gold label 9.8. That's about a $200 book. Then there's the Dan Mora 1 in 50 sketch variant virgin cover. So it's the cover B with a virgin cover, 6 blue label and 0 gold label 9.8. That's about $175. Then there's the Paul Pope 1 in 100 variant virgin cover. That is a beautiful cover. Paul Pope is incredible. 7 blue label and 0 gold label 9.8. That's about a $300 9.8 book. It's about $100+ book raw. Then there's the blank sketch cover, which is about $5 to $10 raw, 3 blue, 1 gold, 9.8. And then I'll just run through the rest very quickly. Miguel Mercado die cut variant cover is about a $10 raw book. These are all low pop books. I'm not going to run through them. $10 for the die cut variant cover. The Comic Tom 101 variant cover and the 101 virgin cover. Alex, those are about $100 each. What is Comic Tom 101? Is that a store?
It's kind of it's a little bit of both. It's a mystery box subscription service.
Got it.
And they do variant covers for the subscribers.
It's a tough book to find.
Yeah.
Then there's the Brian Haberlin Alpha Comics variant cover. $20 on the regular cover, $25 on the virgin cover. Do you know Alpha Comics, Alex, or no?
Alpha Comic, I believe it's online, but they do have a store. I don't know where
Right.
though.
They made 500 copies each of those.
I mean,
by
that's
the way.
tiny. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the John Jiang Wicked Gator comics variant, $20 raw. Do you know Wicked Gator?
No, that's new to me. I like the
Okay.
name though. Probably
Yeah,
Florida.
cool.
I'm assuming
go-
somewhere in Florida.
Yeah, just Google Wicked Gator. That's
Yeah,
right.
that is it.
The second print is about $5 to $10 raw, and then there's a second print 1 in 25 variant cover, which you don't see very often. That's about a $45 to $75 raw book. There's no pop on either of those two books.
They've been doing incentive covers for second prints lately. Nice House on the Lake had one for number 1.
First time
second
I've
print.
seen it.
I love it because again, it helps people bump it up. And again, if you're a store and you have 100 copies of Nice House on the Lake on the wall, and it's like, oh, second print's up for FOC, you're probably gonna be like, yeah, I'll get 2 for my completists. You know, those are going to be hard to find, those incentives.
Right. Okay. All right. That wraps up Dune. It's time for Alex's pick of the week. Alex, what do you got for us?
Exactly what you talked about last week, very minimally, but Mcfarlane Toys signing DC, doing
crazy,
pretty
right?
much all of their toys. That's big. That's big for Mcfarlane.
Their stuff is so smart. You know, one thing that I noticed, that not to interrupt your one.
No, by all means, this is a shared Alex's pick this week.
So I will say this. This is what I like best about what Mcfarlane is doing. For years, what DC would do is they would do the Jim Lee again, no offense to anybody. They would do this version of Batman, this version, the Jim Lee, the Alex Ross, and there'd be 50 versions of Batman, which are great because everybody loves all the different iterations of it.
Yeah.
What Mcfarlane is doing is they're focusing on a lot of the characters, and they're doing characters that you wouldn't normally get in the assortments.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like when you're seeing the Suicide Squad, you're getting all these new characters. When you're getting, he's doing very, very smart. He's bringing a lot of characters where you're like, oh, that looks cool. Like, I want to buy that one. I want to play with that because I don't have that character.
Yeah.
And because he's not worried as much about, you know, oh, it's got to be Batman, it's got to be Superman, it's got to be this version. You know, it's very hard to get out of that way of thinking because you got to make these toys. He's pulling in a lot of characters that are people have never seen before in toy form, or have so few versions of iterations of them that you're like, oh wow, like you know, you're getting a King Shark figure. Like, I don't think there was ever a King Shark figure before.
Yeah. And one of the cool things about like his waves are, it's not straight up DC Suicide Squad wave 1. It's Mcfarlane Toys wave 26, and there's 3 Suicide Squad figures in it, and then a Batman from this, and a Green Lantern from this. So it's if you're a collector, you know, every wave has something for everybody, which is great. And there's always going to be a peg warmer. There's always going to be something somebody doesn't want, but this helps ensure that the wave gets picked up and not just dies. The toys are phenomenal, and you know, DC Direct for years was only specialty stores, and that's a good thing and bad thing. It brought a lot of money into the shops. And if a kid wanted a Superman action figure and they went to Toys R Us and it wasn't there, usually the parents would look for, you know, a comic book store or something, and they would always have a Superman or Batman toy on the shelf. But now Mcfarlane Toys kind of letting it be everywhere. You're going to go to Targets and see them. The more people that have eyes on these toys, the more they're going to bring them into comic shops to be like, oh, my son found Batman Who Laughs toys and he really likes it. What is this about? And you can help explain that. You know, the Target staff's not going to know what that character is.
No. Yeah. All right. Good choice, Alex. I like that one. All right. What are we wrapping up with today?
The Crow. What a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, and there's been a renewed interest recently. Again, you're starting to see prices rise. Now, I could say that about a lot of things with the prices rising, but the prices are sort of just moving up on an upward trend. There's been a lot of iterations of the Crow over the year, James O'Barr, you know, and obviously there's been a lot of tragedy that sort of followed the character in the films or whatever. Do you have any sense of why there's this new renewed interest, or what's going on with the Crow? Or
I think every couple of years there's a snippet saying, you know, the new script's been done, or a new director's attached, or producers, or whatever. You know, this is also one of those movies that if you're a 90s baby, you know, this was a huge movie. I mean, it was Bruce Lee's son. He passed away during filming, which was like, wow, like that, what a horrible thing to happen. And then the movie came out posthumously, you know, and it was a huge successful movie, and, you know, and they made a couple sequels, and I don't think they did so well. But this is a big part of the millennial, if you will, you know, zeitgeist. You know, the Crow is huge. I mean, it helped I think the Crow movie helped Hot Topic become a phenomenon that it is. I will put that down, and I will draw the line, and we'll go to the variant timelines and see without the Crow if Hot Topic becomes a thing. But
you got to go on Reddit and make it a meme stock out.
Yeah. I need to. Yeah, exactly.
That's what
exactly.
you got to do. Okay,
that's the words.
Caliber presents #1, January of 1989. First appearance of the Crow. Tim Vigil. I didn't realize Tim Vigil did the art, by the way. James O'Barr stories and artwork as well. 75 blue label, 11 gold label 9/8, 137 blue label, 24 gold label 9.6s. That's about a $2,200 book in 9/8, and even in 9/6, it's about $850 to $875.
Yeah,
that's a big book. The Crow #1, Caliber Press. This was the Caliber Press one, not to be confused with the kitchen sink one. February of 1989. There are 36 blue label and 8 gold label 9.8s. It's a James O'Barr story, cover, and art. Those 9/8s, Alex's, are close to $10,000. $10,000.
You're not going to find new 9/8s anytime soon.
No. And the black chipping on that very easily.
Yes.
$2,500 for a 9/6, $1,500 for a 9/4. Second print came out in October of 89. 2 blue label, 0 gold label 9/8s, $340 raw. Ooh. Third print came out in June of 1990. Double zeros on the pop, $275 raw. Fourth print, I've never seen one. I can't find one. I don't even know if they exist. They exist. I don't know where you're going to find one. If you see one, pick one up. But basically, if you get the Crow #1 in any print, it's worth buying.
It's a Santa Claus, right?
Yeah, it's
out there. We've just never seen it.
It's crazy. Yeah. The Crow #2, March of 1989, 24 blue label, 3 gold label, 9.8s. It's about $340. In 9/6, you can't find 9/8s. Again, if you had 9/8, it'd probably be $1,000.
Yeah.
$125 raw. The second print does not exist. Again, it's like the fourth print of the first issue, December of 89, double zeros. The third print came out in June of 1990, also double zeros. The third print is about $20 to $25 raw, but the second print you can't even find at all. And then lastly, the Crow #3 from August of 89, 12 blue label, 4 gold label 9.8s. That's about a $385 book in 9/6. Again, probably over $1,000 in 9/8. Second print, double zeros. It's $20 to $25 raw. And then I'm sorry, there's an issue #4 also. And issue #4, just as listed as 1989, must have come out towards the end of 89. 30 blue label 9.8s, 1 gold label 9.8s, and that's about a $600 book in 9.8.
Wow.
So all 4 issues and all subsequent printings are basically very, very expensive.
That's
any
crazy.
of the Caliber Press stuff you want to get your hands on.
Yeah.
All right. I think that does it for today. If you think we missed anything, any of the topics you want us to cover, or you want to give us any thoughts or ideas on what we discussed today, we appreciate it. We thank you for coming and joining us every week. We're having a lot of fun doing this, and we will see you everybody next week. Same bat time.
Same bat channel.